Yeah. City of FAR? City of Harlingen? Starr County?
Present.
Cameron County RMA? Hidalgo County RMA? Valley Metro? TxDOT? Quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Adriana. Okay, we're going to item number 3, open comment period. Motion? Second. Okay, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion and action to rescind January 15th, 2025 approval to the amendment of the contract with Alliance Transportation Group, ATG, to include Task 8. Mr. Medina?
Yes. Good afternoon, board members. Michael Medina. We have brought an item before the policy board to allow us to amend an existing contract through our current vendor. Part of the decision making here is that we could address some of the comments that were afforded to us by the federal partner in direct relationship to the federal review. However, we found out that after the action that the MPO staff did not coordinate effectively with the COG and also our attorney. So the bottom line is here under the COG's policies for procurement is that we cannot exceed the original 25% of the original cost, and the amendment was way over that amount. So we have taken corrective action to ensure that those type of things don't happen again. But more importantly, is that one of the major components that we were asking from the policy board for this amendment is to update the public participation program. I'm happy to say that internally staff is doing that now, and we anticipate that either a mid to a late April, we will advertise a 45-day comment period and then bring that back through the TAC and the policy board to adopt that. If anybody has any questions or comments.
Questions, any comments? Is there a motion to approve? There's a motion to approve. Is there a second? Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
The second amendment was for 127.
Yes, sir. That's correct, Don.
So is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, sir. So there was an initial amendment that this policy board took a couple of months back.
Prior to?
Yes, sir. And then we came back with another one. And the goal with this one was to augment the amendment or to bring back the amendment to allow us to include other planning tasks that the federal government identified for us to complete on or before the next MTP, the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. However, staff did not coordinate with the COG to ensure that we were meeting the requirements of the initial amount. And that amount of 25% exceeded collectively with the combination of both the first amendment and, if you will, this last amendment.
So what should have been what was the max on the amendment? Should have been, let's see, 33, about 80
Yes,
grand?
sir.
Okay.
So again, is that had we coordinated with the COG, they would have informed us again of the rule, and we could have prioritized anything that we needed for the vendor to do. However,
And when was this realized?
it was actually the day after the meeting. There was a communication from the COG to me.
What meeting, what meeting was it that we took action that approved this amendment?
January 15th.
So nobody realized it till after the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Who took a look at it before the meeting?
So we had senior MPO staff, and then we had a TAC meeting and of course a policy board meeting. And between this whole time period of communication, the MPO staff did not coordinate with the COG. So
I get that. That's about the 5th time you said that.
Mhm.
And I think I understand where you're going with that. My question is, were they the only ones that looked at this?
So the direction from me to staff was to coordinate with TxDOT. There was that coordination with TxDOT. TxDOT came back and said, as long as you can amend this contract through the fiscal agent's requirements, you may do so. However, staff didn't do that coordination. They were also tasked
And what were
to
the requirements that they didn't meet or discuss with the COG?
amending the contract to make sure that we were allowed to amend it beyond the 25%. So in other
Was a
words,
COG issue not a federal issue or a TxDOT issue?
so we have to follow the procurement requirements of the COG. And so when we checked with TxDOT, it was just to affirm that we were following the fiscal agent's requirements. We never did that.
So could that have been fixed?
Initially, yes, sir. Right, because if we
So
knew
then
that,
why aren't we fixing that? If that's what, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is the 58 and the 127 were amendments that were required because the feds or state was saying, you need to do these things in order to complete this contract. Am I wrong?
no, sir.
Okay.
That's correct.
So then if that's the case and they didn't provide proper notice or discussion with procurement, couldn't that still have been addressed and fixed? Even though as presented to the board, it should have been, it could have been rectified or remedied after the fact, like in the last month's meeting?
Yes, sir. We could have done that. And so what we decided to do internally is to take on the responsibility to address one of the major issues, which is the public participation program. And so we are
Part of
currently,
one of the amendments.
yes, sir.
Okay.
So the last amendment that came through this body was to address that one and other activities that are a function of the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. We've talked to the vendor and some of those items were already built in as deliverables. And so everything that we asked this policy board through that last amendment to approve, we can deliver in-house. If there was a gap, we could have certainly come back and still be within the 25% to make that said amendment. But I have the confidence that we can deliver that.
All right. So what exactly are we doing today? We're going back to below the 25%?
Yes, sir.
Or we're just canceling that last amendment
So
completely?
it's just canceling. We're just rescinding. We never signed the agreement with the vendor.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. All of those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Item number 6, discussion and action to amend the 2045 Metropolitan Transportation Plan to include non-toll projects of Western Loop, Section A1, and Western Loop Inner Loop, Section A2, in the unfunded project list with Hidalgo County as the project sponsor. City Mission?
Yes.
And, okay. Yes.
Mike, finish. Thank you. We had a meeting last Wednesday with all the parties. We had the RMA, we had Hidalgo County, the City of Mission, and we discussed how we could go ahead and try to move Section A on a little faster. At the end of the meeting, we agreed that we would have a memorandum of understanding where primacy is still held with the RMA, but they would go ahead and through a memorandum, allow Hidalgo County, the City of Penitas, and the City of Mission to take on that section of A and to move that further along. And so we're going to try to do the whole thing. However, the RMA did say that if we ran into problems at any time, because this is going to be a multi-year task, then they still have control. But we will be working directly with TxDOT for them to be reviewing and analyzing everything that the partners would be doing. And I think we all agreed on that. George Alcante is here representing Commissioner Everett Vidal. Am I correct in what I said? And so I think we all are okay. And Pete, you were at the meeting. Did I say anything that was not quite correct? Or if you want to add or correct anything I said?
Acknowledge and recognize the three parties for coming together. At the end of the day, when we have good communication, when we work together, we can deliver projects like this. And so I'm glad that the three parties were able to come to a resolution by identifying the primacy right for Hidalgo County RMA. And then through an interlocal agreement or memorandum of understanding, all parties are able to work through that. And so just I want to recognize the three local governments for coming together and appreciate that very much. And thank all three of you all.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, as RMA Chair, yes, I can affirm that that's our understanding, and that is, we caused a little bit of a stir last meeting, and I thank everyone for, the patience and allowing the process to work its way through. But as has been stated, the entities have all gotten together. I'm very optimistic about being able to move things forward in earnest by working together, and this is a way to do it. The RMA's concern, if you will, and is that we get a project that we can start and that we can complete, and that any funding needed to do that is we work together to be able to get the funding and to be able to get those projects done. And so that MOU is it's working its way through. We hope that to get something actually signed this week. I can report that at our Hidalgo County RMA meeting last night, the board did vote to revise our strategic plan that we had come out with late last year to reflect what's been discussed here. And we also have a request before the county that's working its way through to be put on the agenda and go before the county directly to give a report to the entire county and the entire commission, staff and myself and any directors that can make it will be there to report just that. So thank you.
Madam Chair, I just make a closing comment. Kind of following up what has been said, it was a rough meeting last meeting, but just like many people around this room, like I have, we all have been here a long time. And sometimes we don't all agree. And in democracy, that's just the way it is. Sometimes it's a little messy, but when you listen to it, it really is beautiful music. And I think what Robert and Pete said is at the end of the day, when we talk and we visit and we listen to each other, there's always a solution. And so I want to thank all the partners for showing up last Wednesday, and we came up with, I think, is going to work for everybody. And Madam Chair, I want to thank the partners that are working on this project for their efforts. And I think this is going to be good for the entire region. Thank you very much.
I'd like to add a little comment to that. As chair of the MPO, I'm really proud of this group that came together, because at the end of the day, I know we've laid to rest the primacy question, but at the end of the day, it's not so much about primacy, but responsibility that we all have to move our region forward together. And there's no better way to do that than to communicate and collaborate. So again, kudos to everyone that worked on that, and thank you for that. Thank you. Oh. I take it that there will be no action on this item as it reads, correct? So do we have a motion? We need a motion for no action? No action, it does say?
Well, go ahead.
Take a motion for no action.
So do we have a motion for no action on this item as it reads?
Yeah, I'll make that.
Okay,
I'll make
we have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 7, report and discussion of Executive Order 14148. Mr. Medina?
Madam Chair, we had received communication from the Federal Highway Administration related to a very specific Executive Order 14148. And so essentially what this executive order does is that it rescinds a lot of the previous executive orders that were issued. And a lot of these activities, the MPOs had to, in their work programs, is incorporate some of these language things related to either a process for inclusion or for project selection. And so before your screens, and of course what's up there on the monitors, is that it does identify very specifically some of these other executive orders that we, the MPO, now have to come back and either remove from our planning documents to include any project selection process that we have. So for example, here, one of the things that we did talk about is in relationship to our TASA projects, where we were made aware that some of this data was never, it was no longer available to us. So from an environmental justice perspective, these type of data sets are not afforded to us anymore. And so this executive order now, again, 14148, requires us to remove any type of language related to these previous executive orders.
So any discussion? Okay, we'll move on to item number 8, report and discussion of TMA planning certification report for the Rio Grande Valley MPO. Mr. Medina?
Madam Chair, again, we had received now the final report from the federal partners. A couple of months back, the FHWA along with the FTA came down and did the audit. The audit is a requirement of the MPO, specifically for MTAs. And so I'm happy to present again is that now through this official communication is that the MPO has met the 3Cs process as we are required to do so. And then again, just going back to the comment that I made earlier, there are major planning tasks that we are identifying that we will take an approach from internally to do these things. And so we would be ready again in the next 3 to 4 years to receive the federal partner to make sure that we are also addressing the 3Cs process like we have.
I think that calls for congratulations. Yes, good job.
you.
Okay, any discussion, any questions? Okay, item number 9, agency reports. Next up.
Good afternoon, members of the board. I'm Freddie Briceño, and I'm going to be going over the current projects that we have in Hidalgo County. So starting off with FM 494. So this project is from SH 107 to 676, also known as Mile 5. The proposed improvements on this project will widen the existing roadway to include 12-foot travel lanes, a 16-foot continuous left turn lane, and a 10-foot shoulder. The contractor on this project is Texas Cordia. The percentage complete on this project is 0%, and the estimated completion is May 2027. So here we have the existing conditions looking south. And on this one, we have the existing conditions looking north. Second up is FM 1015. This project is just going to be rehabilitation of the existing roadway from US 281 to Progreso Bridge. The contractor on this one is IOC. This one is at 1% complete, and the estimated completion date is December 2026. So here we have the existing conditions looking southbound, and then current progress on this project is the installation of drill shafts. Up next is Cameron County with Sergio Sustaita.
Good afternoon. I'm Sergio Sustaita, a project engineer for San Benito area office, and I'll be going over 2 projects, FM 506 and SH4. Okay, so right here we have FM 506, and on this one, which goes from business 83 all the way to FM 3067. And on this one, it's 90% completed by Foremost and an estimated completion date of June 2025. This is the first portion, which is in the city portion, which is being striped, as you can see. The second picture is on the other portion, which is also being striped and working on striping removal. Going to our second project. This project is SH48, and it goes from the expressway I-69E all the way to SH48. And on this one, it has a 38% completion, an estimated completion of March 2026, and Posilico is the contractor. First picture shows where work is being done, and this portion that is being done is from the expressway all the way to Taft. And it's the work zone area is on the north side. This other picture is from Porter School to all the way to SH 48. And right here, this one, they're working on the trunk line installment. Okay, that being said, thank you, and I'll pass it on to Eric Ramirez.
Good afternoon, board. My name is Eric Ramirez. I am a project engineer for the Roma area office, and I will be going over projects, TxDOT projects in the Stark County. So we're currently managing 3 seal coat contracts, district-wide seal coat contracts. The scope of work for these contracts is seal coat surface treatment on roadways throughout the valley, and also the installation of pavement markings. The contractors for this job is CK Newberry and Clark Construction. The estimated completion date is June 2025. The total locations for all 3 contracts is 41 locations with a total roadway mileage of 198 miles. The contractor has delivered aggregate material at the project site locations. They have also installed barricades and signs at the locations as well, and they continue working on the elimination of the existing pavement markings. Next project is Loma Blanca Bridge replacements. This project has 2 locations, one in the Puerto Creek and the second one in Los Barrosos Creek. The contractor is STX Civil. Project sits at 0% complete. The contractor is scheduled to begin work within the upcoming months, and the estimated completion date is October 2025. These are the locations of the 2 bridges that will be replaced with this project. Next, we have the US 83 divided highway with limits from 0.31 miles south of Margarito Road to 0.09 miles north of Loma Blanca Road. The contractor for this project is IOC Company. It sits at currently 13.93% complete, and it has an estimated completion date of September 2026. So the contractor has conducted traffic shifts to start with the milling operations of the existing pavement. They have also graded the areas at the existing bridge within the limits, and they also started and continue with the drill shaft operations for the proposed bridge. Next project is the FM 755 widening Super 2 project with limits from FM 1017 to FM 2294. The contractor is Foremost Paving. The percent completion is 21.3%, and it has an estimated completion date of November 2026. The contractor continues installing drainage structures at the proposed driveways for the project. They also continue working on the cement treated subgrade and base as well for the proposed pavement. All right, next I'll pass it over to Mr. Jose Cardenas with Central Design. Thank you, board.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jose Cardenas, and I work for the Central Design section. First project we have is FM 490. It is located within Willacy County with CSJ 0860-02016. The limits are from the Hidalgo-Willacy County line up to FM 88. The scope of the project is the rehabilitation of existing footprint and additional widening of the existing roadway from 24 to 32 feet. The environmental status is clear. Right-of-way has been acquired. Utilities are in progress. The estimated completion date is June 30th, 2025. Plans, specification, and estimate are 100% complete, and it has an actual letting date of August 7, 2025. Second project is FM 1575 within Cameron County, CSJ 1505-01016. It goes from FM 510 to SH 100. The scope of the project is a project rehab of the existing footprint. Environmental is clear. Right-of-way was not needed with it in this project. Utilities are in progress with an estimated completion date of May 31st, 2025. PSNE is 100% complete, and it has a letting date of September 1st, 2026. And that's it. Thank you.
I had a question. Is the Tech's not working on any technology to come up with something else than this, put the rocks on the asphalt, because I'm wondering if they know how
Putting
many,
enough or?
no, I wonder how many windshields have been damaged over the years because of that method of rehabilitating roads.
So what you're referring to, Frank, is seal coats, seal coat projects, and seal coat is the most economical way that we can address lane miles in our district. As Eric reported, almost 200 center lane miles of roadway are going to be seal coated. There's always been a concern of the chips, if you will, as far as on windshields. We work very closely with our contractors, make sure we have all the adequate signs. Our inspectors are there to ensure that we have the right amount of not only aggregate or rock, but also of asphalt. Unfortunately, there are times where folks basically go offline. They go in areas that they're not supposed to, the traveling public that is, and they pick up those rocks. So we work very closely to address those concerns. Over the years, we have had some issues, and State Highway 48 comes to mind. A couple of years back, there was a problem with the oil, and we had to go back and retrofit. But rest assured that that method is very economical. It provides us long-term maintenance for the roadways at a very low cost at the end of the day. And we will continue to work with the contractor to ensure the safety of our traveling public. As always, we ask the traveling public to stay back, follow the speed limit, follow all the work zone barricade instruction. And a lot of that is slowing down and not following too closely. And unfortunately, when you follow a little too close, rocks do get picked up. Not every rock gets embedded in the oil, if you will. So that's one of the reasons why we go in and we also do the rolling patterns and we sweep. So your concern is a valid concern. We ask the traveling public, please slow down, allow an opportunity for the contractor to maintain our roadways the way we do.
On my instance, the rock came from the other lane. So doesn't matter how slow I'm driving. It came from, the guy was going this way and it came into my windshield. $1,400.
I'm sorry to hear that, Frank.
You could see the rock from the other lane coming into.
I hit my windshield and like almost got my head.
I can barely read. That's pretty impressive.
Are there any other questions? I'll take the opportunity, a real quick update on the interchange project there, I-2, I-69. Obviously, that's moving along really, really good. Contractors working at nights trying to finish up some of the drainage, obviously the frontage roads, turnarounds. There's a lot of stuff happening at night. Some of you may drive by and say, well, how much work is being done? Most of the work is being done at night because of the amount of traffic. But, driving in this afternoon, even in the rain, it was a smooth ride coming in here. But as we move forward, we look to do substantial completion at the end of April and deliver the project, a much needed project for our region. Excited to wrap that up, but then we also have many other mobility and added capacity projects that are in the horizon. So looking forward to bringing those on board as well.
Very good. Okay, we'll move on to Cameron County, RMA.
Good afternoon. Can I move it with this thing? There we go. Perfect. So I know this is in your board packet. We'll go over some highlights. We're still preparing SH 550 GAP 2. We're working through some wetland mitigation items, and like it's going to be a common theme with several of these projects. We have things happening at the federal level, as you guys are seeing with like the executive orders that are coming out and the changes we all have to kind of swing with. We're swinging with it so that we can look at the latest guidance and look at a path forward for getting this one shovel ready. We're also still pending the final right-of-way agreement from Union Pacific Railroad. But other than that, essentially the plans that are 100%. And East Loop, we do have our land swap already currently in the works with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We hope to stay engaged. We hope that they survive all these cuts, as that's going to be our critical path for completing the environmental. Other than that, we also have the 95% effective 100% set of plans under our review and to be submitted to TxDOT here in about another couple of weeks. Flor de Mayo, we have ongoing preliminary engineering work for the NEPA process on the project. So that remains a project that's still ongoing, being developed at the local level and looking for opportunities to get the federal clearance underway and start to get this listed on the plan. So more to come on that soon. Free Trade International Bridge over at Los Indios, we have the renovation project for the dock renovations underway. We've already got through a good backlog of submittals and RFIs. Material is coming in, so more progress to be reported here soon, but essentially it's going full force and the contractor is free to finalize the project. Old Alice Road, a lot like South Parallel Corridor Phase 3. We're slated to be fiscal year 25 lettings. We did get some news that I guess at the state level, there were no more management plans allowed. So Pete, unless there's something that's changed in the last couple of days, we'll ask one more time. We could do FY25, or we could do the utility management plans. Otherwise, we're going to have to do early FY26. So we've already got contingencies for being able to move it out. But if any opportunities exist to be able to use management plans, essentially utilities will be out by November for both these projects and could potentially be fiscal year 25 lettings if we could do the management plans and let them that way. But right now, we've got everything ready to go to be able to do that or to move them into FY26 and let them as soon as possible. Dana Avenue. That project received environmental clearance earlier this year. We're in the middle of trying to finalize our right-of-way map submittals back to TxDOT. Once we are cut parcels, essentially, we're looking for the release to be able to go acquire right-of-way. So that's something that we're continuing to work with TxDOT to continue to advance the project. And then we're also going to have a 30% submittal, probably early May for the 30%, but we'll be picking up the cadence on submittals pretty quickly thereafter. FM 509 extension, we've had a series of MAPOs. We continue to develop environmental tech reports for our CE, and we continue to advance that project. We're also on 1846, we've made a selection of, or taken the suggestion from TxDOT on the typical section that they want to see. We've got some technical memoranda that'll go out to essentially set the configuration and get concurrence from TxDOT to continue to advance this particular project. SH104 or SPI Second Access is, we're meeting every week with TxDOT and ENV at this point. Our team is at the CCRMA is in charge of continuing the preliminary engineering work as it relates to schematic development and traffic projections. Our traffic projections are due in April and our schematic is ongoing. We've got a lot of areas tied down. We're just looking to tie down the area over the water, no small task. Once we do that, there'll be a lot of other elements that fall into place, like cost estimates and finalizing the schematic. So for the areas that we have tied alignments down, we're also doing low-level flights and everything that we can to advance the schematic. Harlingen Rail improvements, we're approaching the 30% schematic on that and undergoing environmental. Documentation is still a CE. SPC3, as I mentioned, is part of our potential fiscal year 25, but more likely early FY26. West Boulevard, we have submitted our traffic projections for that, and we have various tech reports that are being finalized. So our environmental is nearing a place where we have draft documents submitted, and we'll just be going through the pipeline of submittals with TxDOT for that. We've already got the schematic since it's predicated off the West Rail Trail project, but we have reconfigured a portion of that for the road. And so we also have the PSNE already essentially at 95%, but we want to clear the project before we finalize the PSNE. So we'll be able to accelerate this project pretty quickly. So those are a few of the highlights that we have. The rest of the projects I know are in the packet. So for expediency and time, I'll open it up to any questions on any other project. Hearing none. Thank you all.
Thank you. Hidalgo County, RMA.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, Board of Directors. My name is Ramon Navarro. I'm the Chief Construction Engineer for the Hidalgo County Regional Mobility Authority. Here to bring you project statuses on 3 of the projects that we got ongoing.
Some immediate news is that we have some new board members. We have Mr. Jose Maria or Joe Ochoa, who is now representing the the chairman's district, District 3, District 4. And we have Mr. Roy Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez is representing new chairman for the county judge's rep. So we have two new board members brought them on board, and we continue on with our challenges. The real quick summary, what's going on here? Which way do I point? There we go. Okay, a real quick summary for the year to date. We're gonna have to scroll this. I guess this is the issues we have, man, when we submit in PDF and not in PowerPoint. All right, so total permits issued for the 2025 year is 10,642 permits. As you all can see, the total permit fees collected after the convenience fees were deducted were approximately $2.1 million. And you can see how the dividends were rationed out with TxDOT receiving 1.8 and the RMA approximately 287,000. Moving on to construction, we currently have 3 projects in construction, all affiliated with the 365 tollway. We're glad to announce that the wetland mitigation project was substantially completed on the 20th of this month. We are dependent upon some turbidity water tests for the wells and some filtration. But other than that, everything has gone well. We did have a wildfire out there a couple of weeks ago. It was on the project edges of the project. You can see some of the hot spots still burning the day after. This was ironic because the wildfires also occurred throughout the area in Donna area, and there was some, I believe, in Weslaco also. This impacted us directly by the fact that some of these lines were severely damaged. We had an ERCOT power outage scheduled to be done Thursday of this week. We received, tomorrow, we received a notice Friday that closure is no longer going to be able to go under operation due to the impacts to the power lines. So we're working diligently to try and get that rescheduled. And for those of you all that know the electrical line terminology, we're looking forward at doing a shoe foot bypass. And that's got a heavy price on it that we're deliberating, but the project must go through and go forth. So we'll continue on with that. I've gone on a tangent. This is a picture of the landscape that's out there now. It's not to be seen in about 6 months. This is an intricate irrigation system that we have put out. We did do a driveway off of the levee with the IBWC's authorization, of course. And you'll see the differential between the berm on the wetland in comparison to the natural ground. And hopefully now, 6 months from now, this will be a great, excellent before and after picture, and we'll have growth out of control there. As far as the toll management system, we continue to work hand in hand with the 365 Highway project. Of course, this project was issued on notice to proceed was issued to Public Construction, and time charges kept up on March 17th of 2022. We are working 7-day calendar day and 4 designated holidays. So rain, shine, we're working out there doing what we can. We have issued 15 change orders to a tune of $5.7 million or 2.03% of the project. Those 15 change orders are still, we remain in the credit that we originally received at the $14 million to the RMA's favor. And we continue with testing. One of the highlights of the month was we put together an elaborate pumping system for the Hidalgo County District 3 at the McAllen Main Canal. This was we'll do a plug-in for Rain for Rent, but we fused in about 700 feet of 24-inch line and assembled an elaborate pumping station with two 12-inch pumps and an 8-inch pump to put out approximately 2,500 CFS. And that is working and functioning great right now. And we continue on with the continuously reinforced concrete paving, various sections. A lot of the west end, which ties into the Anzalduas. What we call the west end is from McCall West, and then from McCall East is segment 1 that we call the east side. We have a lot of the pavement down on the west end, and we continue putting in the infrastructure for the toll systems and retaining walls, et cetera. This chart is extremely small, but what's highlighted are the major items of work. All in all, we've issued 35 payments for approximately $167 million. And that comes to the overall scale. If we could focus in on the deltas for the time, we've got approximately 6 months left on this project, or if you want to look at that at 166 days. We've used 87% of the time, and we are looking forward to having our network and our tolling system in operation January 1st of 2026. That concludes my report. Questions, concerns I may entertain at this time? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to transit reports.
So good afternoon, Jenny Garcia with the City of Brownsville, Transportation Department in Brownsville Metro. We are going to, okay, here we go. Our project updates, a few updates that we gave last month, we have more progress on. We are substantially complete on our bus yard Tiger project, and we are very excited about this. We are going to have a ribbon cutting April 10th, so everyone's invited. We'll send out save the dates as well. Our 6 sidewalk improvement project, this is now complete, and we are just wrapping up the closeout. This was funding through our CDBG, and we were able to improve 6 bus stops, curb cuts, and provide sidewalk gap and ADA access. Our BRT, our bus rapid transit study, we're actually in the middle of workshops, stakeholders, and the public events happened yesterday and today. And I appreciate everyone that came out, including TxDOT, UTRGV, and some other stakeholders and the Port of Brownsville. So that was very important feedback that we got for our bus rapid transit feasibility study. Our microtransit study, we are getting closer to completion. We had a big public outreach, surveys conducted, a lot of feedback, great feedback. We're very excited about this because it's not just one zone. It's going to be zones throughout the city to see if it's feasible and how we can improve this type of services through the county and the city. So we're excited about this. And these are just some more pictures here. Our BTX Connect Downtown officially launched. The first 2 weeks, we had about 40 passengers, which was higher than anticipated. We're looking at promoting more. It's only 3 days a week. It's from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Thursday through Saturday. It's we are looking at pushing out more marketing for this, but this is some of the locations that we have, what we're calling like hotspots or little bus stops. But however, it's a flag down system. And we're very excited for the first Friday that's coming up because the Spasmatics will be out there. So if y'all want to come out to the city of Brownsville Market Square, please join us. It will be very fun. And then the TTA rodeo that the city of McAllen and McAllen Metro hosted. They did an excellent job hosting this. We had some operators that participated in the bus rodeo, and Brownsville Metro took 2nd and 3rd place again. And so we are very excited, and we had some new participants, first timers, to get them exposed. So they were very happy to be a part of this. And so we're also taking our 2nd place participant, Reynaldo Flores, to the International Bus Rodeo. So hopefully we'll have some good news when that's done next week, actually. And these are the awards, and we are also recognized with the City Commission at the City of Brownsville. And we had a successful city, Ciclovia, Brownsville, on March 16th. It was very well attended. We had several vendors out there. I think this is the most vendors we've had for the past couple of years. So that's always a fun event. And any questions? Dallas.
You know if they have the video?
Let's see.
So, good afternoon, policy members. I think Rudy might be able to just kind of shoot this up. This is you can keep the volume there, it's perfect. These are some of the highlights from the Texas Transit Association Conference. I guess let me start by saying, again, my name is John Bocanegra. I'm a business management analyst at the City of McAllen. I want to announce that McAllen hosted an extremely successful Texas Transit Association Conference and rodeo this month at the McAllen Convention Center. Agencies from all over Texas sent their best to compete in the rodeo, where drivers and maintenance workers competed in different transit-related events. I wanted to extend gratitude to all our partner agencies here. They were instrumental in ensuring that this was a success. That includes, of course, B Metro, Valley Metro, Island Metro. They all attended, and they were all assisting in volunteering roles, sending their competitors, as Jenny just mentioned. So one of the things I really wanted to, I guess, push was the fact that our communities are better when transit is in them. They're better when transit is running well, when they're invested in, when we're supported. Not only is it for these drivers who I know we did this kind of, we put them on our performing arts center and we opened up the curtains and said, you guys are the rock stars that make this happen. But of course, the people that rely on this service every day, we work really hard, our drivers, our dispatchers, and everybody. So there's a big thank you to them. Thank you to the support that we receive from our community. And reminder to ride the bus. So thank you, guys.
Good afternoon, Nancy Sanchez with Valley Metro. Our total ridership for year to date from October to February has been 376,000, almost 377,000. So we are on track to come into about 900,000 at the end of the year. One of our projects is we're expanding transit in Willacy County, and that transit will be called Willacy Express, an extension of RGV Metro Express. It will cover the cities of Raymondville, Lyford, Sebastian, and Harlingen. So we are scheduled to do a ribbon cutting April the 9th at 10 a.m. And we're currently working on the list, invitation list, and the project. Another service that we provided was we partnered with the Westlaco Chamber of Commerce to provide transit service for the Onion Fest. Our buses transported people from designated locations, and it's estimated that we transported about 1,500 residents. We have also the National Transit Employee Appreciation Day that was held on March 18. We're able to provide our staff, drivers, mechanics, operations, admin, a token of appreciation for all their hard work with Valley Metro. And as they mentioned, the TTA, we did have our maintenance and operations team compete in that rodeo. Our maintenance team was awarded third place for their competition, and they were presented their trophies here at the LRGVDC board meeting. If you're a member of the RTAP, we have rescheduled the RTAP meeting for April the 8th at 10 a.m. And the sorry, I lost track. The what do you call it? The RSVP invitation was sent out for that. We are also relocating our Harlingen Transit Terminal from the Fair Park right now, and it's going to be moving to 201 T Street, which is the former AEP building. And that will be on April the 9th also. That's going to coincide with the Willacy Express ribbon cutting. So we have put out invitations, announcements for that, if you follow us on social media. So that's all right. Thank you.
Anyone else for transit? That it? Okay, we'll move on to item number 10. Thank you, everyone. Item number 10, closed session. Do we have any closed session? Yes. Yes.
My understanding was we were trying to get it on the transit plan, because that's the whole idea that we first came, and the idea is that we had to work out something with the RMA to see if Section A could be added to the transit plan. And when we took no action, that means it's not, because that was the original request, and we had to have an agreement with the RMA before we could be in the transit plan. So I don't know what would be, if we have to wait until for the next month, or what is the advice from you, Madam Chair?
So that would be a main motion. So that means that there's two ways to do this. The chair could allow the item to come back, and then there would have to be a motion and a second to rescind the no action, and then have a new motion to approve the item as discussed procedurally. But it's up to the chair if she wants to address it, and also the board if they want to vote in that fashion.
So Madam Chair, if I may, I think one of the things we discussed was coming up with a financial plan as to how a project like this would be financed, so that we can then demonstrate and include it in the long-term, the MTP. By having a financial plan, we could basically have an idea of what are the numbers, how we intend to get there.
That's what you'd like from us to give it to you.
It would be ideal to make that happen. As many of you know, when you start looking at fiscal constraint for not only, there's so many fiscal.
We understand. We'll get that for the next meeting. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me speak, Madam Chair.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So there is no closed session. Next item is adjournment. I do want to announce that our next regular meeting is on April 30th, 2025 at 1:30. Same location. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.